Ladies and gentlemen, in this lecture series, I would like to take you through the simple model of buying behavior. The simple model is helpful to marketing manager in the understanding of the psychology of their buyers. Let us note that this model is applicable to consumer buyer behavior. There is another model that describes organizational buyer behavior. So, what are the questions? What are the issues involved in the simple model of consumer buyer behavior? There are five questions that I will raise and that I will also attempt to provide answer to. So, what this suggests is that a good marketing manager must raise these five pertinent questions and simultaneously providing answer to them if they really want to understand the behavior of their buyers. The first one is who is involved in the buying decision process. Number two is what types of behavior do they exhibit. Three, how do they buy? Four, why do they buy? And finally, what are the influences upon their behavior? So I will take these one after the other. The first one is who is involved in the buying decision process. Ladies and gentlemen, let us note that a decision to buy a product or not usually involves multiple people in a household. And we call these people participants as decision making units. That is DMU. Therefore, there are five participants in the DMU as far as consumer buying behavior is concerned. Number one is the initiator. Who is the initiator? Initiator is the person that first recognizes a need for a product and suggests that a particular brand of product should be purchased. There's somebody in the DMU, in every family unit, that plays this role. It could be the father, it could be the mother, it could be the children, it could be relations living in the household, it could be house help. So whoever that plays the role of suggesting that a product should be purchased is known as the initiator. Two is the influencer. The influencer is an individual in the DMU whose comments and or behaviors may affect the suggestion made by the initiator. And when I say may affect, this may be negative or positive. The influencer might have had a bad experience with a brand suggested by the initiator, and he or she will not miss words by outrightly condemning and rejecting the suggested brand. Then the third is the decider. The decider is the individual in the family who has the approving power, is the one who will consider the suggestion by the initiator and the opinions of the influencer, weigh them, evaluate them, and take a final decision to buy the suggested brand or to reject it. There is somebody in the household that plays this role. And the fourth one is the buyer. The buyer is an individual who goes out to the store, to the open market, to buy the product that has been decided by the decider. The product might be bought in the store, physical store, or might be purchased online or via telephone, which is called telemarketing. So whatever way or wherever the product is purchased, the buyer is somebody who is responsible for the purchase of the suggested product, suggested and decided product. And the final is the consumer. Consumer may be an individual or a group of people in the household who consume the product. Consumers might be the entire family. For example, toothpaste. For example, automobile cars. For example, TV set, washing machine, refrigerator, noodles. In the case of noodles, there are a number of homes where noodles are eaten by children alone. In this case, the consumer or consumers are children. Then the second pertinent question is to find out the type of behavior exhibited by the buyers. There are four types of behavior that buyers may exhibit, and a marketing manager must find time to understand this behavior of their buyers in order to develop the right marketing strategy. The four types of behavior are: number one, habitual or routinized buying behavior. Habitual or routinized buying behavior. The second one is variety seeking buying behavior. The third one is dissonance reducing buying behavior. And the final one is complex buying behavior. Let me briefly explain each of these buying behavior. As the name suggests, habitual or routinized buying behavior describes a type of behavior in which the buyer habitually, routinely, and frequently purchase a particular brand of product. For example, in the case of toothpaste, some households, anytime they are purchasing toothpaste, they might be regularly buying close up. The households, when they are buying seasoning for cooking purposes, they are routinely buying no brand, a no brand. When they are buying milk, they are habitually buying peak milk. So consumers involved or buyers involved in habitual buying are not ready to accept substitutes. They know their favorite brands, and each time they run out of stock of the product, for example, toothpaste, seasoning, milk, they know exactly what they are buying. Usually, habitual buying behavior involves consumer less in purchasing the product. So buyers need not to get involved in the purchasing of the product. The purchase can be delegated. The purchase can be made by smart children in the household. That is, the buyer needs not to go out to physically buy the product, especially if they are buying the product from within the neighborhood. But where they are going to the store, they visit stores irregularly, maybe once in 2 weeks, once in 4 weeks. Of course, when they are going for shopping, they might include these products in their shopping list. But what is important to note is the fact that habitual buying behavior involve consumer in less participation in the actual purchase of the product. And also, consumers do not also think the available brands are significantly different from their favorite brands. So because they do not see a significant difference between other alternative brands and their favorite brand, they usually stick to their favorite brand. The second buying behavior is variety seeking behavior. Also, as the name suggests, this means that the buyer engages in a switching behavior. Unlike under a habitual buying behavior, buyers are not buying a variety seeking product by habit. As a matter of fact, they often engage in a switching behavior. When they buy a brand today, the next time they are going to the market, they switch to another brand. When next they are going to the market, they also may switch or buy a completely new brand. So this is what it is meant by a variety seeking behavior. And again, consumer involvement in this kind of product is also low. Somebody else can actually purchase the product for them. And why are they switching products? They are switching product because they could perceive a significant difference between the new brand they are buying and the previous one they have used. So they have a strong reason to buy the new brand. And when next they see another brand and they perceive that that new brand is also significantly different from the last one they bought, they will also switch that brand. So that is what it is meant by a variety seeking behavior. The third one is dissonance reducing behavior. What is dissonance? Festinger define a cognitive dissonance as a consumer state of anxiety and doubt that characterizes a purchase. That is, many of us, when we buy products that are very expensive and that are infrequently purchased, we often have dissonance. We are anxious, we are curious, we are not sure, we are not certain as to the propriety of our purchase decision. We are not sure that we have made the right decision. So this kind of behavior is meant to reduce the anxiety, is meant to reduce whatever doubts that we might have after we have paid and purchased a product. So we take our time to get as much information as possible on available alternative brands in the product category we are considering to buy. So that at the end of the day, when we decide to select or choose a particular brand, we will not have anxiety, we will not doubt our purchase decision. We will beat our chest and say, at least for all what we care, I have considered or we have considered everything that needs to be considered. And the final one is complex buying behavior. This usually involve purchases that run into millions of naira. You want to purchase a new house. It is a complex purchase. We want to produce a brand new Toyota or Mazda's car. It is a complex purchase. It is not a purchase that will rush to go through a decision process. We need to get involved. You need to get involved. Don't forget that I said that with habitual, our level of involvement is very low. Somebody can purchase the product for us. And because of the unit price of the product, even if that person makes a mistake, we will not lament. We can quickly dip our hands into our pockets and ask the person to go and buy the right brand. Why? Is because the unit price of habitually purchased product is usually very low. But with seasonal reducing products and complex products, we cannot afford to delegate purchasing or purchase to anybody. We have to get involved. And also, there are significant brand differences among all the alternative products that we are considering to buy. So as a result, we get involved, deeply involved in the purchasing of the product so that at the end of the day, we want to get real value for our money.